everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you very much for clicking on this video. And today's video is quite different because I'm going to be giving us 5 rules. Yes, this is what I call PSA's 5 rules of raising children. Now, I don't like to use the word parenting, not because these videos are not for parents alone, but everyone who deals with children at every point. And I'm pretty sure that will be more than half of the population. Yeah, so if you've got siblings, if you've got children that live with you, whatever, then these rules apply to you too. So the very first rule is that every child is different. Never forget that every child is different. Now, we all come from different families, and if you've got siblings, you know that you have different personalities from your siblings. Now, imagine how you must have felt when your parents thought that you all wanted the same thing in life, or when your parents compared you with your other sibling. You can imagine how that must have felt. Now, we should not carry on this to other children. Simply because a child behaves in a particular way and is calmer does not mean and every other child should be as calm as he is. So when you meet children who don't talk much, and then you meet other children who talk so much, appreciate them for their different personalities. Now, I'm not saying that a child with a bad attitude should be left like that, but I'm just trying to say every child is different. So you can't apply the same method you use for one child onto the next child. And that brings us to the second rule of raising children, which is there are no hard or fast rules. So if you have used a method for a child, does not mean the same method will work for another child. So if you have 2 children, one of them is got a very strong will, hard-hearted, or whatever you like to call that, and you have another one who is a bit more flexible, who is calmer, who is emotional, and then because the other child who is more rigid and hard-hearted, once you always have to probably, put up rigid rules and probably scold him and talk to him in a particular manner before he or she bends, and then you decide to use the same method because that method worked for that child on another child who's a bit more emotional. The other child who is a bit more emotional might begin to get back into his or her shell. And then eventually you would have succeeded in killing his or her spirit, because you have used a method that applied to another child with a different personality onto the other child. And this brings us to the third rule, which says that you learn from experience. Honestly, that is the best way you can raise children. Now, this experience, take note, doesn't always have to be your own experience. You can learn from experiences you have had with when you were growing up. You learn from experiences from seeing people around, how they take care of children, how they deal with children, how they raise children, how your teachers raised you, how your parents raised you. In our entire lives, we probably have someone whom we appreciated his or her parenting style. So we can actually adopt it, or, well, not necessarily adopt it hook, line, and sinker, because remember, there are no hard or fast rules, but you can actually pick up a few guidelines from there, which you can use. So because there are no hard or fast rules, you have to learn from experience. You have to learn from dealing with a particular child. You have to learn from dealing with different children to actually continue to help raise a child appropriately. Now, onto the fourth rule is that there are actually no parenting rules. There are no rules for raising children. So these are just guidelines that we can apply in our daily encounter with children. There is nobody that can come and tell you the 10 rules of parenting or give you 50 rules of parenting or whatever. Whatever books are written, whatever videos are being uploaded, they are just guidelines. They are just experiences. And really, PSA's Bell Gems is just about sharing my experiences with children. What I've seen, what I'm learning, because I'm not even a parent yet. So it's more like documenting my experiences, sharing it with every one of you. It's more like my day-to-day activities with children, because I work with children a lot. I love children, so I like to document it and just bring it out there and let me hear your views, what you think about what I've done, what you think about how I handle these situations, and get better. It's all about intentional parenting, really. Intentionally making sure that you get the best out of it. And the most important thing is enjoy yourself while you do it. So the fifth rule of parenting is do not forget the first four rules. Yes, don't forget the first four rules. Don't forget that in the process of raising children, you do not leave yourself out of it. It's not all about them, but you must enjoy the process. You must also learn from the process, because really there is so much to learn from children. Oh my days, I learn so much from them every day. I just see them innocent, I see them trusting, and it has helped my relationship with God, because God actually wants us to come to him as children. He says we should actually come to him as children. Children are trusting. A child would not go about thinking of what he's going to eat, because he just believes, even if his parents don't have the money, he doesn't know about that, he doesn't understand. Except of course when he begins to come of age, where he begins to understand. But once a child just cries, he or she expects you to take care of his needs, and that is exactly the kind of relationship that's expected of us with God. So it's there's so much to learn. They're resilient. They adapt easily. They're very innocent. They express themselves. They express their views. They don't really care how you take it. If they want something, they ask for it. If they don't want something, they don't want it. So really, there's so much to learn from children, and that is what I'm doing. I learn a lot from children. I share my experiences with you, and I want your feedback. I want your comments. So what rules do you have? What parenting tips do you want to add to this? And do not forget the 5 rules of parenting. Okay then, this brings us to the end of this video, and I'm on my way to work, and yeah, this is just in between, and I will see you on Saturday. Bye.